Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of TEDXcellence, the show in which I am desperately searching for new knowledge and revelation and often finding nonsense. The search continues as I come to you from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the wonderful world of Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday. I hope you are all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. Just found out that I may be working from home through the end of the year. I wonder if I'm going to have any brain cells left, because that's a lot of extra free time. And TEDx doesn't stop publishing material. So we'll see. But otherwise, just want to say hello to all of you. Apologies for the short notice, just the way the schedule hashed out today. So them's the breaks. But to all of you who have joined me so far, Cultist4, hello. Tarkata, hello. Keeverdam, hello. Drew W, hello. Before the stream, thank you, Point Curation. The best exercise is futility. Good for the lats. I guess we'll find out what kind of exercise we're getting out of this talk today. Foxy Veritas, hello. Corey Suzuki, hello. Zauble, hello. John Smith, hello. Moots Perutz, hello. Crimson Tiger, hello. Attack Alpaca, hello. Graf Spree, hello. Anna Clark, hello. Jim Beam, hello. Robert Lapine, hello. Rudicus Prime, hello. The Pissed Off Shih Tzu, hello. The Twisted Skipster, hello. Shady Grin, hello. Holy cats, guys. Thank you for showing up. And I apologize that, again, it was short notice, but, just the way of things. Let's see. And Mike Savage, Blarg. All right, so be sure to have your bingo cards ready. Link to the image is in the description below. I don't know if there'll be much. I honestly don't. I was just entranced by the title of this presentation because I am absolutely curious to know what it is we're going to talk about. And what is the title of this? The official title of this presentation is Why We Need an Emotional Gymnasium. An emotional gymnasium. Now, I'm inclined to circle in the new buzzword, buzz phrase square on the bingo card just on the basis of the title, but I'll at least give the presentation an opportunity to state it out loud. Sometimes the title of the stream, or I should say the title of the presentation, has very little to do with what is presented in the actual talk. So I'll reserve judgment until then. The Luke Skywalker 2, hello. That One Servant of Satania, hello. Irate Prostate, hello. I think that's everybody. All right. So, as usual, guys, I will play a moment or two of sound. You tell me if you can hear it, and then we will proceed. Did you hear the applause? If you heard the applause, then we're in good shape. Move that over there. Oh, Pepperjack, you my only friend. Thank you, Pincalo, Driving Ape Man, just in time, woot. And Pincalo, hello. Quinn the Cultist, hello. Did I already say hello to Quinn the Cultist? I don't remember if I did, but if I did, you got two. If I didn't, I got one.
Standing here is quite stressful.
Okay, standing there is quite stressful. Well, myself and I'm sure a lot of people have, stress and anxiety doing public speaking. So, stipulated.
You sitting there and watching me stressed is also very stressful.
Okay. Well, you're being very open about it. All right. You're stressed out. You're doubly stressed simply being up there, having people look at you. I've done book reports before. I understand.
One of the best ways to get rid of stress is body shaking. Please stand with me. We're going to shake our body.
Okay. Body moving, 8 body moving. Okay. I'm circling the free space just to start off with. Audience participation. You don't usually see that in TEDx's. I'm curious. All right. So everybody's going to body shake. Okay.
Shake it off, just like the Taylor Swift song, shake it off.
Okay. Yeah. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. It's shake and bake, and I helped.
Woo!
Okay. The bald guy, this guy here, yeah, he's getting into it, man. Look at him go.
All right. You may be seated. When you experience negative events in life that put you in a stressful situation, you want to be intentional about how you respond.
Intentional. Okay, intentional. That's another one of those, I don't know what I want to call them, red flag words. Intentional, intentionality, mindfulness, stuff like that. It kind of goes, but okay, traumatic experiences, stressful experiences, like being asked to stand up and shake your body in front of a bunch of strangers, that kind of thing.
We talk about taking care of our bodies.
We do.
To go to the gym.
Yeah.
To get the stress off.
The stress off, sure, or to maintain a good physical health or lose weight, or yeah, there's a whole bunch of reasons why people go to the gym, sure. But yeah, stress can be one of them, I guess.
To work on that treadmill.
Yeah.
Even ride on a bicycle and lift weights.
Yes, a gym.
But what about our emotions when we are distressed, angry, sad, frustrated? Do we work out our emotions?
Yes. Most of us do in some way, shape, or form. Some methods are productive. Some are not so productive. For me personally, when I want to let off a little steam or just sort of let loose a little bit, I critique a TEDx talk.
That is what I'm here to talk about today.
Okay.
Physical fitness is glorified, but emotional fitness is not.
Emotional fitness is not glorified. Well, I'll tell you what, if somebody comes up to you and is not emotionally fit, they certainly won't be glorified. Someone who is calm and collected and level-headed, yeah, and actually that is glorified. That is an ideal that people want to achieve most times. Most times when people notice that they have lost control of their emotions, or they're getting too erratic, or they're blowing things out of proportion, oftentimes they will apologize to whoever they're talking to, because they understand that losing control of oneself is unattractive to a certain extent. But I digress.
Even though they're equally important.
Also, Jaeger Pony, hello. Jay Hess, hello. I miss anybody else? Corwin D, hello. I think that's everybody. All right. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure. I don't want to leave anybody out if I can help it.
We want to be intentional about going to an emotional gym.
We want to be intentional about going to an emotional gym. All right. Well, you need to tell us, what is an emotional gym? And now that she said it out loud, I'm going to circle in, attempt to coin new buzzword. So far I have free space and new buzzword. Yeah. All right.
And what I mean by an emotional gym,
yes,
is going to a mental gym where you work out your emotional muscles to build your emotional strength.
Oh, so sort of like Sherlock's mind palace. But are you telling me I need to work out my emotional issues internally without any physical expression? Like that? Like keep it all bottled up? I don't know. Let's find out.
I'll share with you 3 reasons why we want to embrace this world of emotional gymnasium.
Oh boy, a list! I love lists.
The first reason is to deal with loss.
Okay.
When I was 7, I had just moved from Japan to Korea.
Okay, there's childhood or family anecdote. Circling that one there. There we go. Thank you, tall person. Hoy, y'all. I can't watch now because reasons. I will watch in full later. Happy National Eat Your Vegetables Day, everybody. Yay, vegetables. And imagine if you eat your vegetables, you won't need to go to the gym as much, conceivably. I don't know what happens with the emotional gymnasium, but we'll find out as I have to click back to the other window.
I was watching the news and saw on TV there was also a plane coming from Japan to Korea. The plane had crashed.
Oh.
And there was red flame everywhere.
Oh.
The plane was broken into 2 big pieces and we're sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And the luggage and the passengers' clothes in red flames were rolling on the ground.
Yeah.
That went on for a few days.
That went on for... What, the fires went on for a few days, or the plane crashed for a few days? I know, I'm being nitpicky, but that's what I do.
One night, Mom and Dad came home.
Yeah.
And set me down.
Yeah.
Mom said,
uh-oh.
Your friend Yoko's family was on that plane.
Oh, no.
My ears perked.
Okay.
Because Yoko is my best friend.
Oh, man.
Her mom and dad and her little brother are at the hospital.
They're at the hospital? Okay, well, fingers crossed for the rest of that story. Thank you, Mikal, the driving ape man. After eating your vegetables, melt the wheelchairs. Okay.
But what about Yoko?
Oh, no.
She's missing.
Okay.
She was missing, but when they found her,
yeah,
a pole had pierced through her head.
Oh, oh no. Oh, God. If she was 7 and the girl was her best friend, then she couldn't have been more than 7 or 8. Like, oh, man. Thank you. This is Kyle. Hello, chat people and scribbles. Hello, Kyle. I hate sad stories. Nirvana 69. Hello. All you need. Hello.
Not make it.
Okay.
That night,
yeah,
I sobbed myself. I was sobbing and cried myself to sleep.
Yeah.
Next day, when I turned on the news, the same plane and red flames everywhere. The reporter announced number of people who are dead.
Yeah.
Number of people who are missing.
Okay.
And I was playing this mental game. You know what? Yoko's alive. She's missing. They'll find her.
I think you're going through the stages of grief at that point. I'm no psychologist. But, you know, denial and then bargaining and all that fun stuff. And I mean that, you know, sarcastically. Okay, so... And again, I'm just guessing here. You learn to work this out inside your head rather than externally in your emotional gymnasium. I really, really hope what she is not effectively suggesting is that we all bottle up our emotions and just deal with it internally. Because, you know, there's a place for that, certainly, but it's not always the healthiest thing to do.
But it was my wish. We could not revive her.
Yeah.
Have you lost someone close to you?
Yes, I have lost several people close to me, unfortunately.
It is painful.
Yes.
We go through losses, through physical deaths, but also hidden losses.
Whoa, wait a second. Did you hear that? The audio completely changed. This is dubbed over. This part right here. This is something that was recorded after the fact and overlaid. I'm going to back up a little bit because that was very dramatic. I don't usually see that happen. Thank you, Asian Hippie. Game over, Ghost Hippo. Yeah, if you can hear that, and I assume that you can. Yeah, this is That wasn't me. That was audio that was suddenly overlaid, like it was recorded after the fact and dubbed over because, well, maybe she wasn't clear on the stage or someone said that she wasn't understandable.
We go through losses, through physical deaths, but also hidden losses. Loss is such an integral part of our life. What I mean by hidden losses, when you have breakups, when you go through or when you have divorces in the family.
No, wait. Okay. Maybe not. All right, there's two possibilities here. Either because I'm watching her mouth and her movements, and they are really in sync with the words. So two possibilities here. Either suddenly in the middle of the presentation, the audio department guys or whatever were able to filter out the echo, or this is my fault to an extent, because when I get these videos, I try, if I feel it's necessary, try to clean up the audio track a little bit, sort of enhance it, raise the volume, take out some of the background noise. If this is suddenly the result, and I don't know why it would happen in the middle of the video rather than throughout the whole thing, because yeah, I do try to take out some of the background noise. If I mechanically took out the echo and now we're just hearing the voice, I mean, that's a good thing. But it sounds so off from what was just presented. I don't understand how it would only now change. I just want to make sure, because I don't want anybody thinking I edited the audio or changed what she's saying, because that's not the case at all. I'm bewildered.
Life-threatening conditions. Even when you move to a new city, you go through hidden losses. The loss of what could have been and what was. In the face of loss, we want to be intentional about our emotional muscles to better handle the situation. The second reason why we want to be intentional about going to an emotional gym is to better handle stress.
Okay, it's got to be something that they did to the sound on their end, because I mean, I don't have the original in front of me, but I have to assume this is some correction they made mid-presentation or something. I don't think my boosting the audio would so fundamentally change the echo in the recording. So I'm going to pay attention again to what she's saying rather than the quality of the audio, because it is kind of disturbing how drastically different it is.
The first job I had right after college had to do with math. My primary job was to make sure the payments and the sales orders matched. Have you ever met a miserable matchmaker?
Okay, yeah, no, that's the correct audio. It's not an overlay. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, can you guys still understand her? Deco says the dubbing is the same on the original. Okay, well, it's not dubbing. It's like in the middle of the presentation, they found a way to filter out the echo. And this is what it is. But now my question is, can you guys understand it? Because if you guys can, I can understand it. But if you guys can't understand it while we're doing this, then there's no point in continuing. Quinn the Cultist says, I can hear her. It's like watching a 40s Godzilla movie. Oh, boy, that's bad. All right, I'll give it another couple of minutes, guys. You let me know.
No matter how hard I tried, they would not meet each other eye to eye.
And now the echo's back. Are they manipulating the audio live to the recording? This is so bizarre.
My boss would yell at me, "Hey, I'll do it myself." And I would be horrified, and I really did not like my job.
Oh, I've lost where we are, honestly, in trying to get the sound down. So now she's at her job and she's stressed out because her boss is yelling at her and she doesn't like her job. This is after the plane crash, I'm guessing. I should back up, but I really don't care enough to.
Have you ever done something stupid?
Yes, I think choosing this TEDx talk to look at.
Those of you who are not raising your hands, you're lying. I've done something stupid, like quitting a job before having another one lined up.
That is actually a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, if before you quit a job, you should already have a job. That's kind of like my dad's motto. Also, if you don't have a job, your job is to find a job. That's also one of my dad's mottos. He's got a lot of mottos.
Within 3 months, I was broke.
Oh my God.
No money to pay for the rent.
Did you go to your mental gymnasium, or sorry, your emotional gymnasium to work that out?
I was about to get an eviction notice. My steady diet was ramen noodles.
Oh, now that's some kind of stereotype right there.
I was so poor, I could not even afford the flavor pack.
The flavor pack comes with it. It's not a separate purchase. Either I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, or you made a very, very, very horrible joke just then.
The added burden of paying off college loans was weighing me down.
Is this just going to be a list of complaints? I mean, I did read the caption on this video. This lady is a professional public speaker and motivational speaker and everything. I'm waiting for something. I don't know if we're going to get it.
Until I found a job and I was able to become financially stable again.
Good for you.
Because we live in a money economy.
Because we live in a money economy. Okay. All right. I'll admit, you could live in a barter economy, I suppose, but yeah, those money economies, those sort of novel ideas. Okay.
When it comes to the flow of money,
yeah,
there's stress.
Yeah.
In the face of stress, we want to be able to work out our emotions to better handle it.
Okay, her meandering all over the place here and getting way, way far away from what I thought was the topic. I'm going to make that word salad. I'm almost jokingly thinking about circling makes racist comments, and she said ramen was her main go-to food, but I'm holding back on that one.
And the third reason why we want to be intentional about going to an emotional gym,
yes,
is to prevent self-sabotaging behaviors.
Self-sabotaging behaviors. Okay. So again, is an emotional gymnasium just advice to bottle in your emotions? Because that's what it sounds like to me. And I don't think that's healthy advice. But then I don't know much more about what we're talking about.
My friend Chris, when he was 8,
yes,
he studied really hard. He scored one of the top in his class.
Okay.
He beamed with delight.
Yeah.
And proudly went to his dad to show off his grade.
Okay.
The shouting was so loud you could hear it from outside.
Ooh, why? Why was he being shouted at for doing well? I'm dying to know.
This was Dad shouting.
Yeah.
Why can't you get a perfect score?
Okay, so an overly expectant father being mean to a kid who did well. That sounds familiar.
The bell came off. Chris was struck again and again.
What the heck? Okay, all right. Plane crashes, child abuse, bad bosses. I think our speaker needs an emotional gymnasium, because it sure sounds like she hasn't been handling traumatic experiences, either directly or indirectly, she's gone through since she was 7. I don't know if I'm watching a TEDx talk so much as I'm watching sort of a self-therapy session.
How would you feel after being top in your class and be beaten for not getting a perfect grade?
I'd probably feel pretty lousy. I'll not deny. That's, yeah, I'd probably feel pretty bad. What does this have to do with an emotional gymnasium? Again, dealing with your emotions and flexing your mental muscles inside your head. Plane crashes, dead children, child abuse.
hurt and disappointed. Chris underperformed for years.
Underperform? He got the top in his class and he underperformed. Did you just give up? Is that what you mean? He just kind of gave up after Dad started beating him? I can't imagine what happened after that to the kid. Jesus.
Instead of studying,
Yeah.
as an escape mechanism, he got into playing video games.
Oh my God, not video games.
Watching movies.
Watching movies? Jesus.
As his grades dropped, that fed into shame and low self-esteem.
Yeah, I can imagine so, if he gave up on grades as a point of which to try to impress his father. So I blame the father for that at that stage of the game, especially when you're a kid. Bad parenting is bad parenting.
How many Chris's do we have in our lives?
Kids who gave up or were underperforming, even though they were exceedingly smart, let's say, or talented. Well, at one point in my life, I was that kid. I've always been relatively studious, and yet there was a point in my life in junior high where, for external reasons that aren't worth going into, I kind of gave up. I wasn't happy with myself. It just fed into the depression that was already feeding into my lack of performance in school. So, yeah, I can relate. I wasn't being, now, just as a note, I have never been physically abused by my parents. Just want to make that clear. That's not what the comparison I was making.
Because of the emotional injury that was not healed, that leads to self-sabotaging behaviors.
Okay, and so is the mental gymnasium, the emotional gymnasium meant to heal his shame, trauma, self-esteem? Is Chris going to be your case study of a success story?
If Chris's case is one, suicide is another form of self-sabotage.
Yeah, suicide would be ultimate form of self-sabotage, yes.
Between 1999 and 2017, there was a 33% increase in suicide rates in America.
Okay, did that have anything to do with the economic crash, at least in part, by any chance? Maybe a little bit? I was wondering, because a lot of people's lives were ruined in that period of time.
What's worse, American suicide rates are now at the highest in 50 years, with 129 suicides per day.
That is very depressing. Added alongside a plane crash and child abuse, you're really uplifting my mood, lady. Not.
We want to be intentional about making sure to address the emotional wounds before we see the worst case scenarios.
Yes, but if we're all keeping our emotions in our emotional gymnasiums inside of our head instead of expressing them or seeking assistance if we're in that dire of a headspace, are you really going to prevent suicide, or are you just making people marinate in their own hopelessness?
If we don't work out our emotions will work us out.
Okay, well, the operative word there is out. Work out your emotions. But your only description so far of an emotional gymnasium is about doing so in your head, dealing with them in your own mind, your mental gymnasium. So are you talking about bottling up emotions, or are you talking about seeking productive outlets and or therapy regarding emotions? Because I'm confused.
I talk about going to an emotional gym in the face of loss, stress, and emotional wounds.
Yes.
Like trauma.
Right. Okay.
When these emotions are unresolved, they lock us up in life. We're not able to be our best versions because they hold us back.
Okay. Well, then what? Okay. I've known a lot of strong people who've dealt with a lot of tragic situations and everything, and everybody handles them differently. Some people are more, I don't know, built for it or something. But if you have someone who is being tortured by traumas from the past. They can't get past them, and they're poisoning their life, and so on and so forth. I hate to tell you this, because I am one of those people, or I at least was at one point, probably still am, depending on the circumstances. I am my own worst therapist. It is very difficult to objectively separate yourself, your rational self, from your emotional self when it comes to tragic circumstance or trauma or, whatever. That's why you need to work out your issues. You need to find an external, maybe third party to talk about these things, whether it's a therapist or a friend or a family member or an activity like going to the gym. I mean, everything's different for everybody. But that doesn't sound like what you are suggesting. So are you going to talk any more in the next 4 minutes about what you are suggesting?
But as we work on our emotions by going to an emotional gym, we're able to go to a healthier state of renewal and growth.
Again, are you going to trust someone who is scarred by trauma to have a healthy way of dealing with their emotions all by themselves, internally in their own head? Does that make sense? I'm not saying there aren't people out there strong enough to deal with and work through trauma. There are lots of people who can do that. It's not fun. It's not easy. But some people just, whatever happens, sometimes you can't get past that all by yourself. So our speaker seems to be suggesting emotional isolationism when it comes to trauma. I would not say that that is a healthy thing to practice or to accept as a healthy strategy necessarily. But again, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know what our speaker's credentials are, but just as a layman, just as someone who's dealt with anxiety and stress and trauma over the course of my life, I wouldn't say that that is the best advice. I tried it myself for a long time. And while I was able to manage a life, I was not enjoying life.
Do you want to get there?
Yeah.
There are many ways to exercise emotional, to exercise your emotions at the emotional gym.
How? Tell me.
Affirmation, visualization, meditation.
Affirmation, visualization, meditation. Affirmation from where? Self-affirmation? I mean, that's good for building self-esteem, but if you're being scarred by trauma of one form or another, how do I get to the point of being able to self-affirm if I have a poor vision of myself? If I've visualized myself as a faulty person, how do I find affirmation? Just curious.
Walking in nature, listening to music.
Walking in nature, listening to music. Okay, so this is all self-therapy. This is all isolationist thinking when it comes to emotional management. Okay, all right.
Journaling, watching comedy shows.
Journaling, watching comedy shows. Okay.
So many. I'll focus on body shaking.
You'll focus on body shaking. Okay, so if I'm to understand our speaker so far, if my best friend gets impaled by a pole in a plane crash, the best way to handle the trauma and the grief and the stress of that situation is to take a walk in the woods, watch a comedy, journal about it, and shake my body. I mean, different things work for different people. But, okay.
Did you know that we can get PTSD, but animals don't?
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't understand that. I think she said we can get PTSD, but animals don't. I just want to make sure I got that right. Sorry, I don't want to misquote here.
That we can get PTSD, but animals don't?
Okay, animals don't get PTSD. Don't they? Don't they? You ever seen like a rescue dog? You ever see a rescue pet, a rescue animal? One of my cats, from my childhood, this cat showed up on our doorstep after a big windstorm. And this cat was traumatized. If you raised a hand at this cat to pet this cat, the cat just cringed away as though expecting a strike. Okay? The cat had learned that a raised hand meant pain was coming. As far as I could tell. Granted, I'm not a mind reader of cats, but that's what we took from it. This cat had been traumatized. And even after this cat was now out of the situation, obviously where that trauma occurred, because over the course of time, we were able to coax this cat into our lives, adopt this cat, take care of this cat, became part of our family. And eventually, I could pet this cat without them cringing away. But to say that cats or animals cannot have post-traumatic stress disorder, at least insofar as we can give an equivalent to animals, is BS. That is a BS statement.
Trauma therapist Peter Levine says in his book, Waking the Tiger, that the reason why animals don't get PTSD is because once out of danger, they shiver and shake the trauma off their body.
That is absolute horseshit. Okay? That is absolute nonsense. And anybody who has taken in a rescue animal knows that is freaking nonsense. Just to be fancy, show off my vocabulary a little bit. Here's what I say to our speaker on that point. Balderdash.
When we're younger, we may have thrown tantrums, but this behavior is discouraged. So we condition ourselves to suppress our emotions.
Are you saying that tantrums are good things?
We all have trauma in one way or another. Maybe someone called you out for being different.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm sure that's a very uncommon experience if you've ever been a kid.
Maybe someone called you stupid because you had a different way of learning.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
I have my own trauma, and body shaking has helped me cope with it.
Okay, so you're promoting body shaking. Are we talking about trying to productively manage your emotional traumas yourself to a certain extent? Are you talking about just quivering for the sake of catharsis? Quivering for catharsis. That's what I'm going to call this. Quivering for catharsis. That is the movement I'm going to start based on this lady's talk. Quivering for catharsis. Hashtag quivering for catharsis. Because that sounds like what she is promoting more so than any actual self-help advice that could possibly be beneficial to someone.
When I first came to America for high school, there was 1 year where I ate by myself in the bathroom.
I'm sorry. I know. I should not make fun of proverbial children. But that image of like going into the cafeteria, getting your plate of food, and then immediately escaping to a stall in the bathroom to eat your food. I am such a bully. Now, do I think that that is an anecdote that probably never happened? Given our speaker's just absolute scattershot vision of herself and reality, I believe it's true, honestly. Nothing about how she has comported herself thus far makes me think that she is telling a lie here. So no, I'm not going to circle it. Unless she says something else, I'm not circling that one.
I did not fit in.
Okay.
I could not quite put a finger on why I was different from everyone else.
Okay.
I just couldn't belong.
Okay.
I would shut the bathroom door, sit on the toilet, and my face would be eating lunch mixed with tears.
That is a very sad image. But again, given our speaker thus far, I don't disbelieve her.
No wonder lunch back then was pretty salty.
Yeah, your sodium count was way too high. Oh, no, wait, you're ingesting your own tears. You're fine. It's okay.
Fast forward, in college, I carried this pain, this trauma, and I was trying to get rid of it. But no matter how hard I tried, how much I talked about it, I still felt the pain and stress in my body.
Okay, well, either you weren't talking to the right people or seeking the right kind of help, or in the worst case scenarios, looking for an appropriate medication, perhaps. I don't know. It sounds like you lived through or were party to several major traumas. And so your solution was just to get jiggy with it?
Until I did my body shaking.
I was right. Okay, your body shaking. All right.
It worked. I did it almost like Tabata style, where you do an interval of 20 seconds of shaking workout and then 10 seconds of rest.
Okay, so is that your emotional gymnasium just quivering for catharsis? Is that what the emotional gymnasium is? Because you were talking about it in the beginning like it was an internal mental muscle thing, not an actual physical expression. So I'm a little confused. Well, hell, I'm a lot confused, but at least on that point, I'm a little confused.
Body shaking has helped me through one of the most turbulent times of my life. I was amazed then, and I'm still amazed at how drastically body shaking can help improve emotions.
Okay. As I put my face into my hands for a second. This is psychological quackery. This is snake oil for PTSD. I don't know how else to categorize it. This is absolute and total nonsense.
In conclusion,
Yeah.
we want to be intentional about going to an emotional gym in the face of loss, stress,
Yeah.
and trauma leading to self-sabotaging behaviors.
Yeah.
We want to work out our emotions.
Yeah.
Next time you find yourself in a stressful situation,
Next time I find myself in a stressful situation, look like I'm having a seizure. Is that what's coming next?
remember that one of the best ways to get rid of stress.
One of the best ways to get rid of stress. All right. Here comes, okay, expert. What is one of the best ways to get rid of stress?
Is body shaking.
Is body shaking. Shake it off. You know, like Taylor Swift says. Your friend got impaled in a plane crash. Shake it off. Jesus. Imagine if at the age of 7, when she found out that her best friend had been impaled in a plane crash, her father had looked at her and just said, shake it off. Your dad whipped you because you didn't get a perfect score in class, even though you were the top in your class. Shake it off. That's fine. Oh, also, animals don't have PTSD. Jesus.
Please please stand and join me. We're gonna shake our body. What are we gonna do?
We're going to cure ourselves of all of our past traumas, stressors, anxiety, PTSD. Everything is about to be cured in the audience with this next action. Watch this, folks. We are seeing a miracle in process.
Shake. Yes. Shake it off. We're gonna scooch low.
Oh my God. Oh. Thank you, Toxic Nightshade. Just want to stop by and throw a little support your way. Thank you, Toxic. Appreciate it. I think after this presentation, I'll need it because, you know, if this thing at all traumatized me, all I got to do is go into the other room and spaz out for a minute.
Slowly coming up.
Oh.
Shake, 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 shake. We're gonna come to an arm stretch position.
Jazz hands! Jazz hands! Oh, jazz hands will save us, everyone. Oh boy, were you beaten by your father when you were a kid with a belt? Jazz hands. Just jazz hands.
Yeah! Thank you.
Are you kidding me? Oh my. My. Okay. Let's review the bingo card before I go to the chat for any other arguments. Plays victim. Extending the benefit of the doubt that the life experiences that she was reciting are not out and out lies. And I honestly, I didn't get any vibe from her that she was being inherently dishonest about those. So I'm not going to say she's playing the victim. School to prison pipeline, no. White supremacy, no. Childhood or family anecdote, yes. Microaggression, no. Systemic, no. Not even institutionalized or anything that could be extrapolated from that. Takes credit for something others don't, no. Attempt to coin a new buzzword, yeah. Emotional gymnasium. Equity, no. Rape culture, no. Toxic, no. Anecdote that probably never happened. Again, given her attitude, given her behavior, I don't have any reason to think that what she's bringing up didn't actually happen or isn't something that she actually witnessed. So I'm going to let that one pass. I know that might tick off some people, but all the same. Leaves out vital context? Yeah, I'm circling that one because she never really fully explained what an emotional gymnasium is versus just shake it off. I mean, are they the same thing? Are they two aspects to it? That didn't make any sense. Speaker should not be in the current occupation or position. I don't know what her occupation or position is, except that I read somewhere in the description that she's a motivational speaker and or counselor, life coach type person. So in that sense, yeah, no, I'm circling that one because what she was suggesting there is not good science for psychological trauma. It just isn't. Plus, animals can't have PTSD. Yeah, sorry. That almost makes you not, you shouldn't be in the occupation of being a compassionate human being at that point. Marginalization, no. Privilege, no. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason, no. Wage gap, no. Patriarchy, no. Makes racist comment, no. I'm not going to attribute that. Word salad, yes. Baffles or triggers scribe in the first 30 seconds. No. I mean, I laughed, but I wasn't baffled at that point. Cultural appropriation, no. Gratuitous pausing for effect. All of her pauses, I honestly believe, were born out of actual nervousness and not someone who was trying to be dramatic. So I'm not going to circle that one. I'll take arguments to the contrary, but yeah. So that's my card right now. Let me display that on the screen here in a second for you guys. If you have any comments, observations, thoughts on this that you'd like to share, please put them into the chat now. I will get to them in just a moment as soon as I get my screen shared here with my bingo card, because that requires a couple of extra button pushes to make that happen. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. All right. That, and then this, and then this. Boom. Okay, so there's my bingo card as it sits. Not a bingo, but one of the most baffling and at points infuriating. The thing about no animals get PTSD, sorry, that is absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. Anyone who has dealt with any animals in a rescue capacity or otherwise, you know that that's BS. Anyway, moving on. Back to Chad. Jay Hess says that might have been the weirdest one yet. I'll tell you, that was one of the most abstract ones yet. And I'm curious to know what this lady's vocation actually is. Because what little I picked up from the description I read before I grabbed the video, I got to wonder. Corin D, I disagree on animals not having PTSD. It's just more carnal than ours, and they don't comprehend it as we do. It's like a fire's hot kind of thing for them. Yeah. I mean, it's not. No one can say that an animal's sense of PTSD is the same as a human being's because they, brains operate differently and animals are different. It's instinctual. It's learned behavior, right? They've experienced trauma. They've been trained to react particularly to certain kinds of stimuli or otherwise that lead to traumatic outcomes. So like my cat, you raise a hand towards the cat just to pet him, and he would cringe back and run away. You had to be, especially in those early years with him, you had to be very cautious, very gentle, hold your hand down below his face and out and hold it still. If you raised a hand just to pet him, he would run. It eventually decreased to where he would just try to bite your hand, right, as sort of a defensive mechanism. But eventually, after a couple of years, he trusted us, and things became more like a normal owner-pet relationship, let's say. But to say that animals can't get PTSD, no. That one servant of Satania, when the advice is so bad, you'd be better off without being given such advice. Yeah. Can you imagine someone who is actually going through real traumatic emotional strain and is looking for any kind of outlet? And they see this lady and she says, oh, just shake your body, you'll be fine. It's snake oil. Absolute snake oil. Let's see. John Miller says that was one of the sadder ones. Well, I mean, I feel a lot of empathy for her and her childhood experiences. I mean, finding out that your best friend at the age of 7 was impaled in a fiery plane crash, I don't even know what that does to you. I can't even imagine. But that was a sad story. Her friend being beaten for not getting a perfect score. That's a sad story, and on and on and on. I don't doubt that this lady's been through some trauma. But I very much doubt that her advice on how to handle it is a healthy one. Assassin of the Gray, Scribelight, U.S. military working dogs have been known to suffer from PTSD. Yeah, I don't get why anyone would say that. You know why animals don't get PTSD? Like, well, okay, even if animals didn't get PTSD, what does that got to do with people who do have PTSD? Oh, look, this insect can't get PTSD. So are we supposed to be more like insects? Are we supposed to be more like animals in how we handle life? What was the point there? Midnight Exile, it's transference projection. She's doing it to avoid confronting the source of anxiety, the parents that pay her rent. Yeah, I don't know. This lady seems like she needs some kind of help, but I don't think the help is going to come from shaking her body. Corwin D, she seems to be damaged goods that shut down in a certain ways and became cold and biased. I don't know. She's obviously trying to cope with some stuff and hoping that other people will affirm her strategy. I suppose she's seeking affirmation. She talked about that earlier. So maybe that's it. I don't know. And chat stopped moving, so now I'm paranoid that I've been shut down. Now, this is one of the things now that I have to look out for with YouTube. So I might be talking to myself for all I know. But once chat stops moving, I figure I might have been shut down by YouTube. Nope, there we go. Yeah, that's the kind of affirmation I need, guys, unfortunately. It's more a mechanical thing than sort of a self-esteem thing. The occasional smiley face or just hi or comment or thing lets me know chat's moving, lets me know the stream's still proceeding. So I'm not begging for attention. I'm just saying that's the new reality I live in. Speaking of anxiety, says Midnight Exile. Yeah, well, hey, I YouTube has made me anxious. YouTube has given me a sort of PTSD. It's given me a sort of a paranoia. I can't help it. It's YouTube's fault. It's not my fault. And Asian Hippie says, shake it off, Scribe. Okay. Oh, wow, I feel so much better. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. Oh, boy. Well, that was something else. I didn't know what to expect, and I certainly didn't get anything I could have possibly imagined. So there you go. Emotional gymnasium. If you happen to hear that phrase or something similar to it in the future, well, you can bet that it probably originated with this lady. At least in my world. Because I'm not going to look it up. Because if this is the best sales pitch for the concept that we're going to get from someone who obviously believes in it, yeah, not interested. Regardless, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today for this odyssey of discovery. Emphasis on the word odd. Thank you so much for your attendance. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to hear more from me, or from Ranting Monkey, or from Satsu 2 Cents, you can find all three of us tonight on Ranting Monkey's channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for The Lords of the Night. We'll talk about the news, events of the day, and what we're working on, and talk to you as well, somewhere in there. Well, actually, half the show is interacting with you, but you know what I mean. Regardless, guys, thank you so much. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.